Hi friends, today we are studying a new topic, crop protection and management from chapter Improvement in Food Resources, class 9th Biology. So let us read the chapter. Field crops are infected by a large number of weeds, insects, pests and diseases. So this is a very general statement that we have got here, that every plant someday or somehow they are infected by insects, weeds and diseases. So now we have to basically focus on one term here, which is weed. Weed basically means are the unwanted plants that are themselves cultivated in the field. Example, xanthan. Like here I have grown a crop and an unwanted crop by itself has grown here. So obviously this plant would compete for the sunlight, for the nutrition with the main crop. So maybe the growth is divided among themselves. So the main crop would not grow that better with it can grow without a weed. So basically weeds are the unwanted crops that are grown by themselves. We have some of the examples here like xanthan, gajar ghas, in English we are known as parthenium. So let us look. Weeds. If weeds pests are not controlled at appropriate time, then they can damage the crop so much for the crop is lost. As I have told you, like weeds. Weeds are grown with a crop, like sunlight is coming. So the weed would also take the sunlight and the main crop would also take the sunlight. So the sunlight would be divided. Same would happen with the nutrition that they are getting from the soil. Half of the nutrition would go to the weed and half of the nutrition would go to the main crop. So maybe there can be a lack of nutrition in the main crop. So in that case we need to remove the weeds so that the main nutrition, main sunlight, water is going fully to the main crop and we get the appropriate growth that we want. After that, what do pests do? Pests always like a full green crop is growing and a pest attacked on it. So obviously it would bore into the plant, it would eat some of its parts and then the plants would be infected. Maybe the nutrition would not be used as efficiently it should be used because pests has infected there. In next, basically in the right side we see the examples of weeds like gorkhu, parthenium, I have told you, gajar ghas and cyperinus rontandus. Rontandus basically the motha ghas that we see that sometimes they grow. They compete for food, space and sunlight. This is the point which we have to highlight. Food, space and light. Obviously space, it would also occupy some space, so maybe the plant which is growing state would now be bent because weed is growing, so we do not get that agronomical characters that we need in a plant. Weeds take up nutrition and reduce the growth of crop. I have told you this. Therefore, removal of weeds from cultivated field during early stages. Now, here is the word is early stages. What does this early stage means? I am drawing here only. Like it is a plant. Now it is a big plant. So the weed would also be big because weed is also growing with the plant only. So in this stage it would be really difficult to take away the weed, but when the plant is small you can hand pick the weed so that the plant can grow best. So in early stages we have to do. Now here the weed section is almost over. This is all the weed does. Now next, generally insect pests attack the plants in three ways. So insects also attack the plants. So they attack the plant, they infect the plants in three ways. Like when a virus enters to our body, it can cause degradations of immunity, or it can cause fever, or it may cause some internal infection. So these are the three ways. So now what insects do? They cut the root, stem and leaf. So this is a plant. An insect would come, maybe it can cut the stem. If the insect is coming from here, it can cut the root. So basically, and these you have in the chapter of tissues, we will see the xylem and phloem goes, and when insect cuts the xylem and phloem gets infected, basically they are broken, so that the conduction of nutrition and water is not that efficient. So the first way, they cut the root, stem and leaf. The second, they suck the cell sap. Now what is the cell sap? Basically the cytoplasm. This is let me tell you this. This is a leaf. For example, the insect has come here and it has taken away all the cell sap. So all the nutrition, organelles are the organs, small tiny organs that are present in a cell. So they would be infected. So the overall growth would be infected. Next, they bore into the stem and fruit. Obviously, sometimes when we buy apple, or basically this happens with mangoes or pears. Basically, when you see a pear, you sometimes see a black type of hole. That hole is because the insect has bore into it. Bore means it has gone inside it. This can affect the health of the crop and reduce yield. Obviously, now when a buyer would buy a fruit and he finds that a black hole is present, obviously he would not buy the fruit. So investment has gone into the fruit, but fruit hasn't been so efficiently grown. So our investment are all vain. That's why yield is reduced. Diseases in plants are caused by pathogens such as bacteria, fungi and viruses. So these are the three types of pathogens which is I told. Not only these three are basic, but these are the prominent one where we can see. These pathogens can be present in and transmitted through the soil, water and air. Obviously, if water has some pathogens and the conduction of that water has only been taken by the plant, so obviously the virus would also go inside it. In the air, if the virus is present, weeds, insects and disease can be controlled by various methods. Okay, let's see what the method are. One of the most commonly used method is pesticides, which includes herbicides, insecticides and fungicides. So what is pesticide? Pesticide is basically a chemical which reduces the growth of pests on the crops. Pesticides have three main categories. First is herbicides, insecticides and fungicides. Herbicides can also be used for the weeds, as you can remember it by the names of herbs. Insecticides is for insects and fungicides is for the fungus which is boring or attacking the plant. These chemicals are sprayed on the crop or used for treating seeds and soils. Okay, so here what we are saying, we generally spray these chemicals on the crop, because when the chemical is gone to the crop, if insect is sitting or pest is infecting, it would be killed. We spray or we add this to the soil, because if soil has any type of weeds or any types of pest, it would be killed by that. However, excessive use of these creates problem. So we have always seen that there is merits and demerits of anything. So here we can see the merits, that it kills. So basically our main problem is solved, but other problems are also coming with it. What if we have added the pesticide to the soil and the soil has lost its fertility? Then how will the crop grow? The pests are killed, but the crop will not also grow in that condition also, because the soil has lost its fertility. So excessive use of chemicals causes a lot of problem, like you have added pesticide and now you have added water. For a fact, whole pesticide cannot be utilized by the plant, so it may be mixed with water and now it is drained to some other thing. So what if that pesticide containing water is conducted by the plant? So the fruits which would come would also have some content of pesticides, and human would eat it. That is also a very bad thing. So weed control can include mechanical removers. So basically the pesticide is causing environmental pollution. To reduce this, we have some of the traditional methods like mechanical remover, like hand picking, or by sickle we can take away the weed. Preventive measures such as proper seedbed preparation, timely sowing of crops, intercropping, crop rotation also helps in weed control. see if this is a plot on which I am irrigating or which I am aggregating some of my crops. Now these are the seedbeds and I have grown crops here. So before growing crops also, if I would see the seedbed, if weeds are present, before only I can take them away. So this basically checks the consciousness of the farmer, whether he is conscious. So proper seedbed preparation is when while you are making the seedbed, you should see the soil is good, there is no pest. After that, mechanical remover we have learned, and some of the other ways is resistant varieties. We have also learned about the genetically modified crops. So we should use some of the crops which have a gene that they cannot be easily infected by weeds. In that case also we do not have to spray a lot of pesticides. And what is summer plowing? Summer plowing is a nice term which is directly asked in the paper, like explain summer plowing. Summer plowing like this is a plot on which I am growing the crops. If I have dug the plot very deep, the small pesticides or weeds can be visible because they may be growing inside or under the ground. So when we dig the ground so much, the farmer is easily seeing that these pests are growing or inside the crop. These are the bad elements that can affect my crop production or yield. So at that time in the summer plowing, he can take away the bad elements which are insects or weeds from the inside of the crop. This can also help to destroy weeds and pests. So let us recap once more what we have learned here. We have learned some of the examples of weeds like Xanthium, Parthenium, and what we have learned, what is weed? Weed is an unwanted crop that competes with the main crop for the food space and reduces the growth of the crop. We have learned about the 3 ways by which insects infect the crop. First, they cut the root, stem, leaf, they bore into the fruit, and also they suck the cell sap. Cell sap is the cytoplasm. Diseases are caused by the pathogens like viruses, bacteria, and fungus. It can be reduced by giving pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides. But pesticides, insecticide, herbicide cause a lot of pollution. That's why we use mechanical removers. We also use proper seedbeds, disease resistant varieties, and also the summer plow. Here I end the topic, crop production and management. I think you like this video, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.